Okay, first of all, Bruno, I know what you're watching. Bruno, oh my God. First of all, thank you so much, Bruno. I can't believe this. I'm going to call you after, so I'll say everything. Thank you so much for believing in me and helping me build this world together. I'm really, really forever grateful.
It began
for you
with
and our
silence.
friendship and everything.
A silence so loud, you could almost feel the weight of every heart in the room. The 2025 MTV Video Music Awards, an arena filled with flashing lights, restless fans, and the biggest stars in the world, suddenly froze. The cameras cut to Rose, her eyes shimmering with tears as she clutched the golden trophy. And then, with a trembling voice that carried across the globe, she said the words no one expected. "Bruno, thank you so much for believing in and helping me build this world together. I'm really, really forever grateful for you." At that moment, millions watching live held their breath. What was this world she was talking about? Why did she sound like she was confessing something deeper than just professional gratitude? And what role had Bruno Mars, already a legend in his own right, played in this unexpected journey that led to one of the most emotional nights in VMA history? Before we dive into the answer, pause for a second. Ask yourself, when was the last time a moment in pop culture felt so raw, so unscripted, so utterly real that it broke through the noise of fame and spectacle? Tonight, we're going to uncover the truth behind that moment. The story of Rose, Bruno Mars, and the song that changed everything, APT. But before we go further, if you love uncovering the untold stories behind music's biggest moments, don't forget to hit subscribe, drop a like, share this video with your friends, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's step into the spotlight. It all began months earlier, far away from the blinding stage lights. Back in the quiet corners of a Los Angeles recording studio, Rose was restless. Despite her global fame with Blackpink, she had always carried the weight of proving herself as a solo artist. And in those moments, when the world wasn't watching, she struggled with a question every artist secretly fears: am I enough on my own? Enter Bruno Mars. A man who, on paper, had nothing left to prove. The singer who gave us Uptown Funk, Locked Out of Heaven, and Just the Way You Are. The master of reinvention who had conquered pop, soul, funk, and R&B. But behind the velvet suits and timeless grooves, Bruno Mars was searching too. Searching for something real, something that could shake him awake again. And when their paths crossed, something unexpected happened. They say collaboration is a dance. Sometimes it's effortless, sometimes it's chaos. For Bruno and Rose, it was both. In the first few sessions, sparks flew, not the romantic kind, but the kind that ignites when two worlds collide. Rose brought vulnerability, a voice textured with both fragility and fire. Bruno brought precision, an instinct for melody, and a relentless drive for perfection. Together, they weren't just making a song. They were building something else. That something became APT. A track that felt unlike anything either of them had done before. At first listen, it was simple. A ballad wrapped in pop sensibility, with echoes of soul. But if you listen closer, it was a confession, a dialogue between two artists speaking to each other through music. Every lyric, every note, carried fingerprints of their journey, and yet, here's where the story twists. Because APT almost didn't see the light of day, inside the label offices, executives weren't convinced. They wanted Rose to deliver a radio-friendly anthem, something safe that could guarantee chart success. They wanted Bruno Mars to stick to his familiar formula, the one that had already filled stadiums and sold millions. But Bruno fought back. Behind closed doors, he told Rose, if you want to make history, you can't play it safe. It was a gamble. And for months, no one knew whether the world was ready, but then, the song dropped. And everything changed, from Seoul to Los Angeles, from New York to Sao Paulo, APT became an anthem. Not just because of its melody, but because of its honesty. Fans across the globe dissected its lyrics, searching for meaning. Was it about love? About friendship? Or was it about something larger, the courage to believe in yourself when no one else does? Whatever it was, the world connected. APT climbed charts, shattered streaming records, and became a cultural moment, and at the heart of it all, one truth remained: without Bruno Mars, there would be no APT. That's why the VMA moment mattered so much. When Rose stood there, holding that award, she wasn't just thanking a collaborator. She was thanking the man who told her she was enough. The man who shielded her from the noise of the industry, who gave her the space to tell her story without compromise. And as her voice cracked with emotion, you could almost see Bruno Mars himself, sitting in the crowd, fighting back tears of his own. But here's the twist: the cameras didn't show you. Backstage, just moments before walking onto the stage, Rose almost didn't mention Bruno. The pressure of the spotlight, the rush of emotions, it almost silenced her. But then, she remembered something Bruno had told her during one of their hardest studio nights: don't ever be afraid to tell the truth, even when it shakes. And so, she spoke her truth, and the world listened. Now, here's a question for you. What does it mean when two artists from opposite ends of the world, with different stories, different scars, and different stages in their careers, come together to create something timeless? Is it fate? Is it luck? Or is it proof that music, at its core, is about connection, about building worlds together, even if just for 3.5 minutes of melody? For Rose, that connection was life-changing. For Bruno Mars, it was a reminder that even legends can rediscover themselves through the eyes of another. And for us, the audience, it was a gift, a song that didn't just win awards but captured something universal. The night ended with applause, flashing lights, and another line in music history books. But the real story wasn't the trophy. The real story was that simple, trembling sentence: Bruno, thank you so much for believing in and helping me build this world together. A sentence that revealed more than any rehearsed speech could, because in the end, this wasn't just Rosé's victory. It was Bruno's too. And perhaps it was ours, the fans who got to witness two worlds collide and create something unforgettable. And so, as the lights dimmed on the 2025 VMAs, one thing became clear: sometimes the most powerful performances don't happen on stage. They happen in the quiet moments, when an artist bears their soul and reminds us why we fell in love with music in the first place. That if you felt the power of that moment too, don't keep it to yourself. Hit subscribe, smash the like button, share this story with friends who love music, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think APT is just the beginning of Rose and Bruno Mars' story, or was this their one perfect song? Because one thing is certain, we'll be talking about this night for years to come, but the story doesn't end on that VMA stage. In fact, you could argue it's only the beginning. After the show, social media exploded. Clips of Rosé's trembling words flooded TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Fans replayed her "thank you" over and over, analyzing every pause, every inflection. Why did it sound so personal? Why did she look directly into the crowd, as if searching for Bruno Mars' face in the sea of flashing cameras? And then came the theories. Some fans insisted that APT wasn't just a collaboration, it was a lifeline. That Bruno had taken Rose under his wing during a moment when she was ready to give up, when the pressures of fame and the expectations of being perfect threatened to break her. Others whispered about late-night studio confessions, moments that would never make it into interviews, but lived quietly inside the chords of the song. What no one could deny, though, was the undeniable chemistry of their artistry. Rosé's soft vulnerability wrapped around Bruno's rich, timeless production. It was as if two puzzle pieces, never meant to fit, suddenly clicked. Weeks after the VMAs, in a rare behind-the-scenes interview, Bruno Mars himself finally spoke. Sitting casually in a dimly lit studio, he leaned forward, smiled that familiar mischievous smile, and said, "Rose reminded me why I fell in love with music in the first place. She doesn't try to be perfect. She just is. And sometimes, that's all you need to make magic." Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, share this with your friends, and leave a comment below about what this moment meant to you. Because music isn't just meant to be heard, it's meant to be felt. And tonight, we all felt it together.